biggest mistake people make after quitting weed is thinking that suddenly life became boring, while in reality, they're just feeling what they are supposed to. If you can grasp this, then a lot of things will start to make sense. I am going to make a pretty bold claim here. See, most people don't start smoking weed just because it's fun. Maybe the first time you smoked a joint, that was the main reason, and it felt fun. And maybe like the first month, two, three, maybe like the first year even. I can say for myself, as someone who used to smoke, it started all for fun, but you don't keep on smoking for fun. See, because after like a couple of years into me smoking weed daily, basically, it wasn't for fun anymore. It was mainly for the reason of how it made me feel. Basically, smoking weed helped me cope with life. My life as a teen was pretty shitty. I didn't really enjoy my life, if I may say so, without going into a lot of details, but I had a rough childhood. And so during my teens, the moment I discovered weed, for me that was like the biggest blessing ever. It was a coping mechanism, but it definitely helped me like deal with stress, with my anxiety, social anxiety, with my depression. I didn't even know I was depressed, but I felt that it helped me like let loose and chill down. And that's the main point I'm trying to make. You don't smoke for fun. You smoke because of the way it makes you feel. And even more importantly, the way how it helps you cope with everything, with life, with stress, annoying people, maybe depression, mental health, you name it. Like there is a payoff. And basically, like it helps you very well escape yourself. It helps you let loose. And it's important to note. So what happens over time, every time you feel bored, try to avoid certain feelings, try to like let loose, and basically you coping with life, if you keep on doing that over time, what happens is that you create this dependency. See, your brain starts to put this link that every time I feel a certain way I don't want to feel, then what will happen is that your brain will put the link towards weed. Your brain is going to be like, oh, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling amazing. So I'm going to find a way to cope with this. And the first thing that will come to mind, to your brain, literally, is smoking weed. Now, it is important to note that because once you remove weed, once you decide to quit, then something important happens. Now, what is happening the moment you stop consuming weed is basically that you remove the thing that used to cover up your feelings, the thing that used to be numbing you. Now, it's important to also understand what I mean by numbing. In our brain, we have this thing called the amygdala. And see, the amygdala is responsible for our emotions, or rather, the regulations of our emotion. It's basically like the volume knob that decides when certain emotions should like pop up in us. Give you an example. For instance, you're in a dangerous situation. There is happening a fight around you. Basically, what will happen is your amygdala will turn on fear. Why? Because you have to be cautious. Maybe you like get into the fight as well. All what I'm trying to say is like the amygdala, this part that's like responsible for like regulating your emotions, gets numbed. And now what happens is I like literally like remove the thing that used to numb myself. Because again, smoking weed, THC, directly like numbs the amygdala. And so certain emotions don't really like come to the surface when necessary. And now when you remove that, what happens is a lot of emotions come back to the surface because they were numbed, and that causes all sorts of problems. But what I'm trying to hint at here is that boredom is one of those emotions that gets raised to the surface. Now, here is the truth about boredom. The reason why I'm telling you this is because boredom has always been there. See, the moment you don't smoke anymore and you try to quit, what happens is that your body goes to baseline. And that's a complete normal process. Where most people go wrong is thinking that something is wrong with them, while actually that's the best thing that can happen. And so that's why I want to reframe this for you. Something I've done during my journey, and warning, this may sound very stupid, what I literally was doing was like like closing my eyes, and the moments I was feeling like bad, or like worse, or like super bored to the point where I felt like, I don't know, there was like no life inside of me. Subjectively speaking, that's how it felt. Basically, what I used to do is like close my eyes and just imagine how like my cells were like restoring and reorganizing themselves. Very stupid, very weird, I know, but all I'm trying to say is like just understanding that if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel as if like the soul has been sucked out of you, then it's a good way to like reframe it, and put it into healthy context. Because if you can do that, then you will be able to sit through it. And spoiler alert, you have to be able to sit through the boredom. See, basically what it comes down to is that every feeling we experience is with a reason. Feelings, what they are in a nutshell, is basically data. It's information, it's our body signaling to us or trying to tell us what is actually going on. And boredom is no different than that. Being bored has actually a purpose, believe it or not. And if you're experiencing boredom, then it's important to note that it's something very good and healthy. So now that being said, the question becomes, what do you do about it? What do you do about feeling bored? Do I just sit through the boredom and suffer? You might ask yourself. Now, the first thing is to realize that boredom is not something bad and actually grasp it and understand it on a very deep level. Like, think about it, like, realize that boredom is actually something very good. And also, it's not something that needs to be eliminated, you know? You shouldn't try to like get rid of it because at the end of the day, boredom has its own purpose, which I'm gonna get into later. But yeah, boredom is not something you want to get rid of, and also can give you like a big opportunity to look deeper inward, deeper inside of yourself. Second thing you can do is replace wheat with something else. See, wheat gave you something. Wheat at the end of the day is like an amazing tool to decompress, let loose, and so find something that can also give you that, you know? And I'm not talking about anything here, okay? I'm talking about things like exercise, meditation, maybe yoga, going for a walk, just spending time with your pet if you have one. If you don't have a pet, maybe just ask your neighbor to walk his dog or something, you know, like going nature or things that can actually also like help you like decompress. And I know this may sound weird or like unsexy or like, oh my God, this is like the most generic thing I've ever heard. But trust me, the reason why I'm saying this is those activities can actually like help you embrace boredom. This brings me to my next point. Why is boredom so important? Is basically because behind boredom, underneath boredom, rather, I should say, there is like a lot of growth opportunities. See, when we feel bored, this is actually amazing. And the reason why is because it helps you like look inward. See, it invites you, it gives you the opportunity to start looking inward. Why you always like gravitate towards something, why you always want to distract yourself, you know? And not even like in terms of like your thoughts, what you're thinking or what, but like on an emotional level. Just sitting with boredom actually helps you like realize on an emotional level why you always want to like escape or like distract yourself. And so what I'm trying to say is like just try to sit with it. Honestly, just try sitting with it and you'll be surprised at how much you can see about yourself, how much you can see about yourself, how much you can learn about yourself, how much you can understand about yourself, and what opportunity it actually invites you into like not always engaging into that distraction, and how much peace and mind clarity you can get from it. That being said, if you're someone who tries to quit weed and struggles with sleep, then I have a free PDF guide down in the description. Just click the link, download it, free, completely for free. I think it can help tremendously. Anyways, that being said, that was the video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the good things, and I see you in the next one. Take care.